Hey y'all, what's going on? So let's take a stop for a minute and just take stock of this project. We've done quite a bit already, and it's really coming to an end in terms of the wooden coaster. We've got most of the support structure in place, we've got most of the landscaping done. The only real thing we have left to do is a little strip over here, right along here, where I need to add just a little bit more, make it a little bit better and adjust the supports right here a bit. And then we will be done pretty much with this coaster wrong turn. So if you remember in the last episode, I said I wanted to go ahead and create another ride inspired by Tennessee Tornado at Dollywood because I like that coaster so much. So we are going to come over here. Let me just move over here really quickly. We're going to come over here in FVD and we're going to do something going up this mountainside and maybe coming down through here. Obviously, since we're going for Tennessee Tornado, I'll probably do some sort of underground drop right through here, tunneled, maybe coming out right here into a loop or something, and then sort of wrapping around the mountainside here. So we'll see about that, but I'm going to go ahead and start FVD and we will start working on that.
Okay, so here we go. We are starting work on my first ever aero coaster in FVD. This is, if someone had ever told me I'd be building an aero coaster, I would probably told them they were crazy because I am not the one. I really don't like aero. The only aero coaster I can remember liking that I've ridden, I guess, I mean the suspended coasters are alright, but in terms of the loopers, no, I never really cared for any of them that much. And I've ridden a lot of the ones that people thought were, a lot of the ones that people would like to ride. They say they would wish they had ridden it, like Dragonfire and Steel Phantom. And let me tell you, weren't missing anything. They were rough. They were not fun. I rode Dragonfire both before and after they fixed it up, and it was no better after it was fixed. So, just never really been a fan of aero coasters. But like I said, I went to Dollywood. I rode the one-off Alan Schilke designed Tennessee Tornado, and I was really impressed by that ride. I wish Aero had been able to go in that direction with their later designs. It's obviously radically different from anything that they did in the past, and you can really tell that they're using computer-aided design for it. It's just way better than anything else they've done in terms of smoothness and fun, actually. So I decided to go ahead and emulate that and put it in this park. So here we go with this first Aero coaster. So I'm not really trying to do a play-by-play reenactment of the Tennessee Tornado, but obviously this coaster so far is inspired by it. It's going to feature the same sort of turn at the top of the hill, some of the drop that goes into a tunnel and emerges out of the bottom to go into a looping element. It's going to be heavily inspired by Tennessee Tornado, but at the same time, I'm not trying to actually just copy that ride, exactly the same. One thing I do in this build that you'll see is the inversions are a little bit just strange, and I think that I found that to be the case on the Tennessee Tornado, and I kind of like that because it's at the sort of the very beginning when we really got into computer-aided design being very heavily used in layouts and so forth, and you see sort of, especially in the first element on the Tennessee Tornado at Dollywood, that it's not, it initially looks like a big loop, but it's actually, there's a little bit of changing of directions as you ride through it. So I have the same sort of thing happening here, and since this would have probably been the first or second time that Aero went with big elements, I figured they may have not had their shaping and so forth down. So the shape of the first loop, or the first element, is a dive loop, and the shape is just a little bit strange. It's not like something we would expect to see today, and I'm totally fine with that. It's blended into the mountain, or it's going to be anyway, and I'm totally fine with that right now. I think it'll be fine. I'm happy with the flow of the ride. So you can see here, just using the standard elements standard graphs that we use most of the time, Quartic and Cubic. To make the turn, I'm making a little bit of float going down this hill. I think it goes down to about 0.01, if I'm not mistaken, or 0.1. I think that's it, 0.1. Just to give a little bit of float, because there was a little tiny bit of float on the Tennessee Tornado, which was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the fact that there was some airtime there. And it wasn't so painful that the over-the-shoulder restraints bothered me about it. So we get this in here. I keep trying to decide exactly where I'm going to put this, but I think what I'll do is eventually once we finish it up, I will finalize its location. I know it's going to be around this general area. The first inversion is going to come out the side right there. You should be able to see from Wrong Turn Station, and then it's just going to kind of swoop around a little bit. And it probably will be a short ride, actually, because I do like short rides. That is one thing I definitely like. And so I think I'm going to do the same sort of thing here, make it really short and sweet. Not quite as short as Tennessee Tornado, but it's definitely going to be on the shorter side. And I haven't decided on colors or anything like that, so we'll see what we come up with as we go along with this. So in the next episode, I think what I'm going to do is I'll finish up Wrong Turn, and I'll probably do a POV of that. Maybe that'll be the next episode of this, the POV of Wrong Turn. I know that I did have a question. Someone asked me if I would do an FVD elements of airtime hills, which sure, I'll be happy to do that. I hadn't really planned to do airtime hills because I know there are other tutorials out there, and they're actually pretty simple to do. But I'll be happy to do it for somebody if they need it. So that might be coming up next. Of course, we'll continue to work on this. I'm going to Busch Gardens at the beginning of December for an event there. And then I think that'll probably be pretty much the last coaster event I do this year. Maybe I'll do a sort of a end of year wrap up of the year of all the parks I've been to. I've actually been to quite a few parks this year. And I'll probably also talk about what I have coming up next year, because I'm already beginning to plan on what I want to do next year. I know Europe is definitely something I'm going to do, and I'm pretty sure I will go to Southern California for my second trip. So we'll see. We've got a lot of stuff coming up here. But for now, to get back to this, so here you can see where the dive loop is just looking a little bit weird. It looks a little bit off, but I'm okay with that. I did want it to go off to the side quite a bit like this, and it's coming up out of the ground at one point, so this is not the 100% final version right there. Or maybe it is. Let me see. Yeah, I think that's getting pretty close to what it is. Yep. So it does look a little bit odd, but I'm okay with that, like I said, because I feel like this would have been something that Aero did for the first or second time, really. They finally got away from, and this is something back then I always wondered about. Why did they never make their elements bigger? I never understood that. I guess it was because they had worked through the forces and so forth on one kind of loop, and they never wanted to have to do it again. I don't know. I always wondered why they put their loops way up in the air instead of just making them bigger. And then, of course, B&M came along and started doing that, which made 100% more sense. So another nail in the coffin for Aero. So all right, so we're going to add a loop right here, vertical loop, because you cannot have an Aero coaster without a vertical loop. I'm sorry, you just can't. This one's real big, though. Well, not real big, but it's pretty big. And then after this, I think we're going to take a ride on, and that'll be the end for this video. We'll finish this up in another video. So let's see here. How much time do we have left? Not much time. So like I said, I got a few things coming up. We're going to finish this up, then we'll take a front seat ride, and next time we come back, we'll probably have the POV of Wrong Turn. So I'm going to leave you with that. Take care and enjoy the ride.